but I didn't see any extraordinary enthusiasm, so I'm only going to give it a +2 valence. Now, I'm doing this deliberately and tying it to your experiences because you make these choices. And you make these choices based on your preferences and the amount of effort that you want to put into the activity and what you can expect as the result. So, how many of you value an A across the board? And I would expect that. So that's a +3. Now notice how they range here. In just the way that I was suggesting from the theory, there's a range of valences from -3 through 0 to +3. And if you were moderately honest in this discussion, you expressed the entire range. Now, oh, my throat is really bad. The printer really messed this one up, and I'm so sad to see it. I could not fix it for whatever reason, but the n goes over the summation sign, and the I equal 1 goes here, just as it is shown in the, I believe it's in the, there is a formula in the text. So, yeah. Where is it? Oh, there it is, on page 171. It showed up correctly on the full-size slide, and then when it printed the handouts, it smushed it together, so I had to repair all this. Important to note, and perhaps it is cleaner to use this one, and I guess that's as tight as we can get it, but just look at page 171 or the slide. It's saying that there is a summation of effort to performance multiplied by performance outcome expectancy multiplied by the valence. You have 3 operations that we mentally do, and you did it. Quickly, you discarded, except one person, Midland. That came out with a valence, an avoidance valence of a -3. On the delivery, if you probably just said he's joking or I'll take him seriously for the game. The expectancies then start to play out. And if you believed I could deliver the trip, and notice I told you I couldn't, then the performance outcome expectancy either goes toward 1 or goes toward 0. Then, let's use Hawaii as the example. In your case, Hawaii seemed appealing. I grant you that. I've been there a few times. Now, that means the valence is, say, +3, but I already said to you I couldn't deliver. Therefore, you should not be motivated by my offer to go to Hawaii, because the expectancy drives the motivational force to 0. Likewise, it does the same when working with the effort performance expectancy. Okay. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Then, this drawing approximates the one that is figure 8.1. It says it's figure 8.1. Then I want to expand the types of outcomes that we have in place. 2 types, extrinsic, intrinsic. Think, extrinsic, external, those are grades. Intrinsic, internal to you and to me, what people give themselves for their performance. Extrinsic, what you receive from someone else for your performance. Now, I've come to know a few of you a bit over the semester, and I can come to a reasonable conclusion about how you feel about the extrinsic outcome of the grade that you get for this course. Based on your written work, that is the stuff you do in the E-exercise, the stuff you do in the E-exercises, the essay that you wrote that I have read and graded and so on, and all of that's done, I assume that you know, and you can access it. Those are the extrinsic outcomes, but I can come to some conclusion about how you're reacting to the intrinsic part. Some of the essays were really outstanding, and I told you that in private comments. Have you accessed the essay? You're okay on that, because I got a screaming email from someone who couldn't find it. So all of it's there. The gray book is completely up to date. And did I do a total for you guys? I can't remember. Is there a total in there?
I don't think there's a total of everything.
Okay. It's still the individual items
100.
out of 100 and so on.
Well, it's out of the 400 instead of 500.
Okay. I'll do that so that you can see. And what I will show you is your total earned points out of 500 for the first half of the course. So you have a good idea of what's going on. Think of the two types of motivation as extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is the pull. Something that's, and you expressed it nicely with the Celtics. You're a fan of the Celtics?
Yeah.
Okay, and nothing better, and I have done it, to go to the Garden and watch the Celtics playing a live game and listen to the Boston accents that will surround you as they cheer on the Boston Celtics. And you can even buy a beer if that's your choice. And pardon?
Of course.
Yeah, of course. You know, popcorn, beer, hot dogs, you know, just, it's a way of life. Then, on the intrinsic side, we have the push form of motivation. It comes from inside the individual. They want to do what it is they are trying to do, and it grabs them and moves them forward. Based on my descriptions to you for 9 weeks now, what is my level of intrinsic motivation for foreign travel? High or low?
High.
Yep. And looks like I'm going to the Czech Republic twice next year. Once in the spring and once in the fall. Czech Republic, going to Czech Republic either in the fall or the spring, and going to Austria twice in 2009. Not bad. And if I work it out right, 2 trips to France, 1 to Paris, and 1 to someplace else. Not bad. Brazil in July. Not bad. Do I get paid to do that stuff? Sometimes. It's just the Brazil thing, I'm paying for the whole thing. That's okay. All right. Won't give you too much of that. Last, let's see what's on the next page. Okay, I want to go to the next slide. Yeah, got it. Then we have to deal with blockages between effort and performance. Now notice what we're building up. We have effort performance expectancy, and these blockages sit between the effort and the performance, as you will see in the second slide on this page. We have added that there are intrinsic outcomes and extrinsic outcomes, and there's a performance outcome expectancy associated with each. Sounding complex? Yes, but you don't sit there with a calculator doing the arithmetic. You do it fairly quickly from experience and the preferences you have for known outcomes. Blockages come in 2 types, individual and organizational. Individual blockages are you, skills and abilities, training, experience. Organizational blockages come from the system in which you work and based on the amount of training a company is willing to give you and the resources the company is willing to give to do the job that you're asked to do. If the blockages are high, performance is low, and the effort performance expectancy gets driven close to 0. If the blockages are relaxed and you have the resources to do the task, then the effort performance expectancy goes to the high side. And one of the things you're going to learn if you're here through the summer, and especially if you are returning to the Anderson School in the fall, we're going to be offering a much bigger choice of online courses beginning in the fall. And in fact, we're working toward, if the deans and the faculty and a whole batch of other people accept it, working toward practically all of the BBA online as an option. That is, you don't have to do it, but you can. And some people don't like it, and in fact, I've had online students who have bailed out of the courses because they just don't like that environment. They prefer something else. But I was in a meeting until noon in which we outlined what we need to do it, and whether in attracting faculty to teach. These will be regular faculty, not somebody we hire off the street, regular full-time faculty. And, and we'll see. I think we're going. I know we're going to have it, and I won't be teaching next year at all because I'm staying out after I retire for a full year. Okay. Now, I want to go to the figure 8.2, which is approximately like the one that you have in the PowerPoint slide. The last slide on page 4 renders this one, but this is a little crisper. The center part is that pipeline that I was talking about earlier. So you deal with the effort performance expectancy, and it can go from 0 to 1, as you already know. Then it goes to 0 if these blockages kick in. If you do not have the skills and the training, you can't do it. If you have the skills and the training, you can do the job that you're required to do. Organizational blockages, same thing. And one of them that I introduce here that is an upcoming module is conflict. If the conflict levels in the organization are excessively high, and if cooperative effort is necessary to get the job done, you can't do it. So, and that's what we're faced with, by the way, for the online BBA, is have cooperation among the faculty to offer the courses. And this is not revolutionary. There are schools that are already doing it, but we know, many of us believe we know how to do it well, so we can pull off a quality program. That's your choice. If you want to take 5 courses online, all the rest in a live environment, you do it. The folks at the distance sites are there physically at a certain time. They could take the entire course online, as I do with my online courses. Okay, a little distraction there. Performance then leads to 2 types of outcomes, as previously noted, extrinsic, intrinsic. Extrinsic, you don't control the extrinsic yourself. You offer the performance to which the extrinsic outcome is associated. The intrinsic outcome is something you do partially control based on your needs and values. So if you value a job well done with a particular type of job, then you will have a high level of intrinsic motivation leading to the intrinsic outcomes. Okay, Aaron, you can go full screen on me, please. All right, we're going to try this out. Questions? You think you understand it? It's not too difficult. As I say, it's extremely logical. Okay. I was going to go to equity theory, but I think we'll hold off on that for a moment and go to the film scene I want to share with you from Dangerous Minds. This is a 1995 film where this is page 122 of your film book. I wrote this, says, former U.S. Marine Luann Johnson. I have a good friend who is a Marine, and he said there's no such thing. He's not active duty and he's not reserve duty, but he said there is no such thing as a former Marine. Once you are a Marine, you're always a Marine. So just take this as that she is not on active duty. But Luann Johnson, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, is a teacher at a high school that buses in so-called special students. These are inner city students with all kinds of learning disorders.